we're going to talk about taking the club back in a square position, it's important we understand exactly why that is. So as we go through this swing thought of bringing the club back square, let's establish the fact that we've got a good address position. I'm aiming at my intended targets, my stance is square. I've got a good grip and I've got the club face in a square position, so everything is nicely lined up. Now, if I take the club back in the wrong place, I can ruin all of that good work. So a couple of wrong places might be, one would be out this way, I'd class that as outside the line. One would be in this way, I'd call that inside the line. And then the square position would be right there. So the club points at the camera. If I have a mirror behind me, I can check that as well. The club points directly at the camera or the mirror. We'll also notice when we do that, that the shaft is parallel to the ground, parallel to my toe line, and it points at my target line as well. So effectively the butt end of the golf club is pointing directly at my flag. I know then that the club is in a good square position. I could also look that the club face is square to my spine angle, and therefore I would class that as square to the golf ball and square to target. So I want to make sure I'm taking the club back in an on-line position. Taking the club back outside the line or inside the line is not necessarily wrong, it's not ideal for hitting perfect straight shots unless you're trying to shape the ball or unless you're trying to overcome another problem. If you're trying to hit the ball straight down the target more often than not, we'd really want to encourage you to try and get to that straight on-line square backswing position. And the first checkpoint there is checkpoint 1. So it's bring the club back, get it level to your hips, level to your hands, shaft should be pointing down at the floor, shaft should be parallel to the floor, pointing on your target, and the club face should effectively be covering your hands, so you can't see my hands because the club head's in the way in that rear view. And if I can take the club back into that position, I should be able to strike the ball more cleanly and more nicely by having it there. Now, I personally have my own sort of tendency, if you like, or fault, if you like, is I tend to take the club back inside, so I work quite hard on trying to take the club out into that position to stop me getting a little bit too far on the inside. So you might feel that you yourself have a tendency and you're trying to work the club back into that nice online backswing position with every club in the bag. That way you can bring the club down through the best line and hopefully hit the best, cleanest golf shots.